welcome back to SIBZ, West Coast, East Coast siblings. I have my notebook in my hand because a lot of things happened in this episode and I'm going to try to make sure I hit them in like an understandable order. So before we get into HBO Max's limited series, The Flight Attendant, don't forget to like this video if you like this video, comment, subscribe, and click the bell so you can be notified of all things SIBZ. We are in episode 7 and as I say every week, which I guess is a sign of it being a good show, things are heating up! Now let's get into the biggest takeaways. Biggest takeaway number 1. Miranda pretty much spills the beans. Miranda tells Cassie what she knows, which is that she and Alex, I guess were friends or associates, they went for drinks a few weeks before. She had too many drinks. She told him about his parents smuggling this money with these rockets and all these other things. And Alex, Boy Scout that he is apparently, was so upset by it that he takes the money and hides it. I believe it's $200 million. So the women conclude that the best thing that they can do is to work together to figure out, one, who's killing them, although Miranda pretty much says, I think my boss Victor is behind all of this, meaning Alex's death, as well as all the sketch-a-do stuff that has been going on with Cassie. So on the way, they decide to run away. Then they decide that they can't run away because Cassie has this big epiphany about her alcoholism, which I will get into in a little bit. Basically, they decide that they're going to find the money, and that will help them. That'll be their bargaining chip against Victor. They find the money, whoop-de-doo, but then they lose the money. I will tell you how they lose the money in a second. Moving on to biggest takeaway number 2. Megan's husband is being inspected by the government because of the sketch-a-do-ness that Megan has been doing. So we find out that her husband's computer has some malware on it from North Korea that has sort of invaded all of the computers at her husband's company. Her husband's name is Bill. Anyway, so Bill calls her, tells her all of this, and she's like, oh, well, it's fine. You're a tech company. He's like, nah, boo, we got government contracts. It seems like North Korea was using Megan as a way to infiltrate the government as some sort of like, not corporate espionage, but government espionage? So Megan, it looks like she's gotten her husband into some really, really hot water. The last time we see her, she's writing a note in this episode and she's got the chicken that she stuck all of that money into it. I think she's gonna try to run, which is awful because she has a husband and a son and both of them are innocent in this. Biggest takeaway number 3, and perhaps my favorite thing about this episode, is that I was correct! Buckley is not just some innocent random dude who really likes Cassie. Buckley is Felix, the assassin that Victor sent after Cassie to kill her. So if you'll remember, a couple of episodes ago, Victor tells Miranda that he has a contingency plan for Cassie if things don't go right with Miranda. Turns out that contingency plan is Buckley, her strange one-night stand that won't seem to go away. My question is, with Buckley, right, he's been saying some really weird things in this episode, especially about Cassie. He's like, oh, we could just run away together. You need to make a change in your life. I could be that change in your life. So I'm wondering if Buckley has caught feelings? I don't know. It just seems kind of strange. And Miranda makes a great point. Felix had a plethora of opportunities to kill Cassie, and yet he didn't. Why? Is it because Victor thinks Cassie knows where the money is and so he's using Felix to sort of butter her up to eventually spill? I don't know. I do think that Felix has some sort of agenda of his own, but that could just be speculation. Anyway, so now we're going to talk about some theories and some big things that happened in this episode, and we're going to try to predict once again what will happen in the final episode, episode 8 of The Flight Attendant. So first off, I would like to know too, Miranda is pretty confident that it's Victor behind all of this, right? That makes sense. Everything is leading up to it being Victor. However, I think the Sokolovs still must be involved. Does Victor work for Lionfish? That whole connection between Victor, Lionfish, and the Sokolovs is still confusing to me. And I don't know how it all works out. It seems like Victor and the Sokolovs are working together and Lionfish and Unisphere were like their business cover for all of their sketch-a-do behavior. So anyway, we've heard these Asian governments being mentioned a couple times. Now, I'm not gonna go crazy and say it's some big conspiracy between every country in Asia and they're all in cahoots to, I don't know, infiltrate America through Bill's laptop. That'd be a little much. But I do think there's something going on with the governments in Bangkok and in North Korea. We know North Korea for sure. So yeah, something to keep an eye out for. Also, the big thing that happens in this episode is that Cassie has her huge, big epiphany moment where she cries and she pours out to Alex why she drinks so much. And in essence, it's quite sad. This is also an explanation for why we keep seeing bunny rabbits everywhere, because they get a little crazy and out of control in this episode and in episode 6. So basically, we know that Cassie and her father are drinking buddies. They are in the car and they are driving, and her father crashes the car. Her father dies in the car accident. Cassie has a few scratches, but she wakes up, looks at her father, is horrified, realizes he's dead. She gets out of the car, she sees a little bunny rabbit, and she just runs. She pretends that she was not in the car when her father had the car accident and lets everyone think that he was alone. She takes on the guilt of her father dying because he was spending that time with her. And she says that she ran away, and that's been her problem the whole time. That was her issue with Alex. She runs. She surprisingly stays when Max gets hit by a car, but she doesn't stay to like see how he's doing. But see, my question still is, when the FBI agent that was tailing Cassie saw Felix coming down the road, he turned away and pretended that he didn't know him. So there was some strange interaction going there. So I just wonder what that is. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. We know that all of this is going on with Megan and Bill and the North Korean government trying to infiltrate Bill's technical company, right? And then we have this whole drama with Cassie and Alex Sokolov and Miranda and, you know, all of that stuff, right? But this is a TV show, so how did the two of them connect? What is going on? The Sokolovs and Victor must have some sort of overarching connection with the Korean government, right? The last question that I have for this episode is, in this episode, we've connected all of the bottom dots, right? We've connected Cassie, Miranda, we've connected Miranda and Alex. So we kind of understand what's happening at this bottom level. We even somewhat understand what's happening at the mid-tier level with Annie working for super high-level people. What still remains to be figured out, what is Victor's connection with Lionfish? And what does that connection have to do with the Sokolovs in North Korea? So, yeah, there's still a lot of...
No, listen, here's the deal what happened with this show. You
I
understand?
don't interrupt your
The plot is all off.
Get away.
I'm the main...
Anyway, you guys, so... I don't know. I've lost my train of thought. I'm pretty sure that's all I have for this episode of The Flight Attendant. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Give me all of your theories about everything. You guys, we have one more episode left. So, yeah. You guys, don't forget to like this video if you like this video. Comment, subscribe, and click the bell so you can be notified of all things SIBZ, especially coverage of The Flight Attendant episode 8, which will be airing next Thursday. Okay.